Vermeer and Massey Ferguson to see who's going to win my bid for a new round baler into our fleet. We're going to trade our Massey Ferguson 2946A off, and we're looking at this 460M here, and going to see what kind of deals they can offer us, and you know what we can do. Right off the bat, just looking at it, I like the header. The teeth are square. I like that better. The stuffer fingers are so much nicer. There's no plastic on the stuffer surfaces there, and that stuffer bar is a lot more aggressive, look like, than the Massey Ferguson. And also looks like the stuffer, or that roller there, that helper roller, that starter roller, is a little farther forward. So it looked like to me it'd be able to start a bale quicker and better. That's probably why they can start bales better than a Massey Ferguson. Just looking at one, you know, I haven't really looked one over much. But you got your twine spaces there. There's a book. Yeah, pretty simple. It's got the same size tires as my Massey does. One thing I don't like about the John Deere's is they are manual, and then the kicker is hooked onto the door. I like a hydraulic kicker, but I'm sure these are a lot faster than the Massey. Matter of fact, I know they are. And so that's one thing I'm not going to like, is because it's not automatic. But oh well. Let's look at this part, Drew. All right. I'll have to relearn how to put that on. I don't know what that is. It's flat foot, Drew. I'll have to relearn a whole new system here. I have to watch how you do it on YouTube, but I've never seen it in action in real life. I guess we'll learn. Oh, pretty big chain there for that. Well, we just looked at the baler. It looks pretty nice. I really like the aggressiveness of the header. The square pickup teeth look real nice. It looks real aggressive out of there. A lot more simple than I thought it would be. Not that my Massey's not simple, but it looks pretty nice. It's going to be a new learning deal for the net going in, and you know, on how some of the stuff works. What do you think of it, Drew?
I really like it. It seems like it's going to be a good helper on the farm, and we can really use it.
Yeah, you think it'll be better than the Massey?
We just got to find out.
Yeah, that's right. We got to find out. So stay tuned for that. Well, here we are again, here in eastern New Mexico on another windy day. Here I am behind my hay shed and my loader. Going to talk to you about this Massey Ferguson baler. Now, as you know, we're looking at a Vermeer, we're looking at a John Deere, and we're looking at a Massey. And of course, Massey has their new RD baler, and it's already out, you know, priced way out of the ballpark for me. They say they're $10,000 more than this you know, this 2946A. So that puts it way out of my price range. Plus it's mainly a silage baler. It's got cutters in it, and I could probably use the cutters in my hay grazer. It sure would make a nice bale, but I just don't see myself spending that much more money. But anyway, that's beside the point. Let's get to talking about the 2946A. So with the RD baler out of the picture, this is what I would basically be getting. This baler here's mine. It has 704 bales on it, I believe. 46 are twine. I'll just talk to you a little bit about what I like about it and what I don't like about it. And, you know, there wouldn't be any changing. It would just be changing balers and getting one with warranty and with 8,700 bales less. So that's kind of a downfall of the Massey, because they had made no changes to it. As a matter of fact, this one here's probably got more changes than the new one would have. So because this had to go back to Heston. Baler, when I first bought it, I could not make a bale at all. Agco, well, my dealer would not do nothing for me, so I went to Agco, and then Agco sent a rep out, and the rep sent it back to my dealer and had some changes, some upgrades done to it, and changed the starter roll, and I put a soft core in it. Then they come out and rode with me a couple of nights. Scott Small from Agco, and I really enjoyed his company, and he kind of taught me how to round bale a little bit, which my dealer should have done. But anyway, kind of taught me some things about it, and anyway, got me going. So that's why this baler here might have a little more upgrades than the normal one, the new one. Okay, one thing I like about this baler is my monitor is the same as my big square baler. So all I have to do is unhook it here and hook on my big baler here, and the monitor stays, and the tractors stays the same. That will change if I go Vermeer or John Deere. Another thing I like about this baler is there's only one set of remotes. There's only one set of remotes on this baler. That just runs the pickup. It is an A baler, which means it is an automatic baler. A means automatic. A means all I have to do is stop the tractor, and it goes through the tie cycle. It stops the baler. It opens the gate. It drops the bale. It kicks the bale out of the way. It starts the machine back going. It drops the door, drops the kicker, and then I just got to flip it back in gear, and I'm gone. All the others, I would have to cycle the remote and let it get out, and then cycle it back, which is faster than this Massey baler, because you don't have to wait for all that stuff, and the kickers are faster and all that. So that's beside the point. All right, let's talk about this. This baler's pretty simple. The John Deere's pretty simple too. I like the grease banks on this baler. I don't have to get up there and grease a bunch of stuff. There's not a bunch of stuff to grease. There's a few seasonal grease banks I need to do, some grease points, and then there's some dailies. All in all, I mean, I like it. I mean, there's nothing wrong behind this door at all. This is an A baler, so it has its onboard hydraulic system. There's the pump. Here's the reservoir. So the PTO has to be on before I can lift my door or gate. It actually shuts the baler off, which I'll show you in a minute. The clutch, it shuts the baler off while I'm tying. I do like Massey's belts. I'm not for sure if the other brands, if they're comparable, but I mean, I really like their belts. I mean, they've lasted a long time. The pins, I've changed the pins once in this baler on 8,700 bales, and no problems. I baled 46 or 7 bales of twine with this baler is all. I wasn't too impressed with the twine part. It wasn't adjusted right, and my dealer, I had them adjusted, and they didn't adjust it right. So I don't know what the deal is about that, but that is what it is. Like I said, the hydraulic kicker, I like that. It's slower because it is auto, and it's just slower than the John Deere. I mean, probably eat hay the same. If I'll start a bale, we can eat the same, but their auto, or my auto, their manual, they can cycle it faster than I can. And that's just a given. I mean, I bet you the 2946 non-A is just as fast as John Deere if it'll start a bale. This being the net wrap, I really like the net wrap system on this baler. Let me drop this bottom door here and open up this side one. One thing about this actuator, we've actually replaced this actuator before, but this point right here is actually it's some kind of a bolt, but it's got a nut welded from the factory. Let me get the glare off of you. From the factory, it's got a nut welded right here. Well, that bolt will break, and it broke with me 2 or 3 times, and I barely could get the bolt out. It took a while, and I don't know why it breaks. It just breaks. So I had to cut that nut off one time because I couldn't get it out of the welded on nut. I had to grind the weld off and get the nut off. Then I have to put a grade 8 bolt, and every season I change that bolt. Every season, but sometimes I've had to change it 2 or 3 times because I keep on breaking that actuator bolt. So I don't know why, but the net wrap system, other than that, I like it. I mean, I showed you on that one video how I put in the net wrap. You just tuck and go. I mean, just tuck it in, get between that roller, and you're done. I like to tie a knot in it and then tuck that knot under there. And that's kind of the way a John Deere does it. So maybe I'll be good on that deal on on transitioning if I go Deere. But that's what you do. You just tuck it and roll. So I like that. And on the sides here, you got the two grease banks here. Of course, I got a leaky cylinder. I think that's kind of common on these. A friend of mine up north of here did the same thing with his. He said he had leaking cylinders. So I think that's just a flaw in their whoever builds their cylinders. It happens on this baler here. On this door, I have replaced the chain. I've replaced that sprocket up there because I let the chain get a little too wore out. That's my fault. But anyway, this chain here, I noticed right now, the John Deere is beefier right here. The John Deere is 80H chain right here. This is 60H, I believe. Diamond chain. Yes, I just looked. That is 60H. So 60H. What I did, this thing here is misengineered. Take this. Here's what I added. This, anytime the stuffer gets overloaded, it will put tension on the top part of this chain, which I don't care how tight you tighten this nut, it will always loosen off, and it'll loosen off every time. So what I did was, I put this all thread in here, and I made these L's, and I put this all thread, and I actually can tighten these and make a stiff arm here and keep this from riding up, which will keep this chain from getting loose. What's happening is, this chain would always get loose, and then I'd have to come back here and I'd have to adjust it about every 30 minutes, seemed like, and I'd tighten the hell out of that thing, and it would still, it'd beat the friction, and over, just a vibration and all, it would just ride up and it would loosen this chain. So now the chain stays tight. So Massey, y'all need to put this on an upgrade, some kind of a system here. Maybe not just like mine, but you need to build a system like this. So this bearing goes out every year, and I mean, I've replaced it 3 times now. This bearing is under bearing. I don't know why Massey did that. It's just kind of an afterthought, I think. But this bearing is under bearinged. It needs 2 bearings in it, really, and it needs to be a bigger bearing. It needs to be greasable. I'm sure you could probably get a greasable for it aftermarket, but right now it's not. This bearing goes out and it almost catches a fire every time. But anyway, unless you catch it early enough. But anyway, it'll start getting loose, and then it'll start getting hot, and then right in here, this bearing here, it needs another bearing back in here. But anyway, this thing will get loose, and it'll start flopping around here, and it'll eat this sensor, and it's just, it needs to be upgraded. I mean, it's just, that's not kosher. It gets you out of warranty, and that's what they're out after to do, I think. But like I said, I can't complain. This baler's been a pretty decent baler. I mean, I've had some immortal hell with it on starting bales. And that's probably going to be its downfall. But we'll just have to see how Massey handles herself. I mean, I figure Massey Ferguson would be the best one to trade this baler into, because they are a Massey dealer, and you would think that Massey's would sell better on a Massey lot, where they already got the clientele looking for Massey Agco equipment. We'll see what they do. I mean, they want a lot for this baler that hadn't had any updates in several years. I mean, I don't know if, other than the slots in the header, what upgrades it's had from the start, from the 2800 series. So, and I'm the only one that runs a red baler in my area. I think there's some, about 35, 40 miles away. And then there's some over in the edge of Texas, closer to Millshoe. That's where my dealer's at, Livingston Machinery. I think there's a few over there. There's not very many. Everybody's Deere around here. One big downfall on the Vermeer, for one, the salesman come out, didn't even offer to show me one. He didn't have one. He said he could get one, but he didn't have it. And the dealer's hour and a half away. So that's a long ways. And the dealer said that the service would just suck for me, being all the way out here. He said, for one, they'd have to charge mileage to come out here, even though it's under warranty. He really didn't sell himself well. He really didn't sell his product. I mean, he handed me 4 sheets of paper and said, "Here, read this." He wasn't knowledgeable on his baler. We'll see how his numbers do. John Deere, they were very knowledgeable about their machine. The salesman has run one for years. He can tell me the ins and outs, do's and don'ts. He's going to be out in the field with me if I buy his baler and show me things. He's just a phone call away. Their service techs are real knowledgeable. There's a lot of John Deere balers out in my area, more so than Massey by far, round balers. And Deere has a good promotional deal for red for green. So that might be we'll see what their numbers are. I know this baler. I know its ins and outs. I know its do's and I don'ts. And I know how I can go to the field, what I can do, what to expect, there's a lot to be said about that. So, and the monitor, man, I don't have to change monitors. Anyway, stay tuned on upcoming episodes. You will see what we do here. See if we go Massey, see if we go Deere, or see if we go Vermeer. You never know. One of them might come up with the best deal, and I keep turning it down. So anyway, stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.